if LeBron wins a championship,
Right.
I might consider him to be the greatest of all time.
That's only because Kendrick Perkins is texting me all the time, and he's going back and forth reminding me that he believes LeBron's the GOAT, and I keep telling him, hell no, MJ. So basically what I was saying to him is that if that happened, I didn't entertain your conversation. Yeah, but I said it ain't going to happen. It's not going to happen.
So can you give me some reasons why so definitively in your mind that you believe LeBron James never just strong statement?
Well, first of all right, you want me to give you that, or you want to let the world to know how you feel?
No, right. It was a little bit of both, but I'm ready.
Here's the deal. I am in no way knocking LeBron. I don't have any doubt that LeBron James is going to come back when healthy and look the way we expect him to look.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about him. It's about what I'm watching from the Golden State Warriors. And it's about the fact that they're not going anywhere. They're not going away. I don't believe LeBron is leaving Tinseltown. I believe that this is his final home. He will retire a Los Angeles Laker. That's what I believe. Unless he retires, it is over, and then he goes and retires as a Cleveland Cavaliers for a one-day contract, something like that. This is it for him.
Mm-hmm.
This is his playing career. And so I'm looking at the personnel that you got, the Anthony Davises of the world, the Russell Westbrooks of the world, THT, who I like a lot, a whole bit. I'm not knocking any of those guys. None of them. I'm looking at you in your face and telling you, LeBron, AD, Russell Westbrook at their best against the Warriors at their best once Clay returns. It's over. They're not beating them. I believe watching this team, Steph Curry is sensational, the greatest shooter God ever created.
I would agree.
I'm looking at Jordan Poole and his evolution and his elevation. Draymond Green is hitting jump shots now. I'm looking at Toscano, and I'm looking at Damian Lee, and I'm looking at this kid Kuminga coming off the bench, and I'm looking, wait a minute, Wiseman and Clay coming back? Because remember, I keep bringing up Wiseman for this two reasons. Number one, he's not a scrub. He's not a scrub. He can play. And number two, they won titles with Zsa Jr. and Andrew Bogut in the middle. You can't win with James Wiseman if you got those other pieces around. I see it. That's what I'm saying. I don't believe that, in other words, both teams are going to be there. They ain't beating the Warriors. That's what I'm saying.
So you believe that Klay Thompson is going to come back and be the Klay Thompson that he was 2 years ago?
I even said this. Give me Klay Thompson at 80% is all he needs. Because I think that's enough to beat the Lakers. Warriors are just too good. They're just too good. That's what I'm saying. This is not me saying, oh, LeBron has slipped and LeBron. No. The greatness is the greatness. I'm saying it won't be good enough.
One of the most beautiful things about basketball in any sport, it's a marathon, not a sprint.
Sure.
So you're talking about a sprint right now. It's been one hell of a sprint. You're not going to sit up here. I'm not going to sit up here on national TV and tell you that the Golden State Warriors are not playing the best basketball in the NBA right now, because they are. But I don't know if Steph's health is going to sustain throughout the course of the year. You can say that about a lot of people. I've seen him have a tendency to get injured time and time when his usage rate is very high. I do wonder how Klay is going to come back, considering different injuries on different sides of his body, right? Torn ACL on one side, Achilles on the other. Will he come back and be the version of he was? I just think it's so disrespectful to a guy that's in the conversation. He may not be your GOAT, but a guy who could be considered the GOAT. I consider him the GOAT, in my opinion. That you can just cancel him out and say definitively 15 games into the season that he will never win another world title. Never.
All right.
Just due to a tough start that they've had.
Allow me to interject. Number one, let me school you. First of all, sir, don't come to me with marathons supposed to sprint. I'm 54. You're 40.
Oh.
In other words, what I'm saying is I would know something about the marathon. In other words, I'm old. I'm just saying I'm a senior citizen. I'm older. I'm older than you. Okay, so I know what a marathon and a sprint is. That's
you
would
one. Turn that into a debate.
That's number one. I'm just older. That's all I'm saying.
Nothing to do with life experiences.
That's a number. Okay. So number one. Number two, it's not disrespectful to LeBron. A matter of fact, it's very respectful. Let me tell you why. Because I mentioned him. I didn't mention a whole bunch of other dudes because they ain't relevant. I'm saying at 36 in your 19th year, I still expect you to be great. LeBron James was great when he lost not one, not two, not three, not 4, not 5, but 6 titles. Why can't he lose a 7th? Not that it's going to come to that because he won't be in the finals, but he's lost 6 times. Even when he was great. You know why? Because the pieces around you matter. And all I'm saying to you is that I don't talk about injuries. Of course, if people get injured, of
course.
I'm saying LeBron at his best.
LeBron James at his best.
I'm saying LeBron at his best. The Lakers at their best. And the Warriors at their best. They ain't beating the Warriors. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I'm not disrespecting LeBron or the Lakers in any way. We're talking basketball. And I believe that when healthy and fully loaded, the Warriors are the best. I think they'll smoke Milwaukee. I think the only team that has a prayer,
Miami,
is if Kyrie comes back to Brooklyn and AD and Kyrie, KD, and James Harden are at their best. That's the only chance I'm giving anybody for beating this Warriors team.
So you know what you're doing? You're feeding into how LeBron James gets motivated by saying it's number 1.
I don't care. We have to play. We want to watch.
For you to sit here and say because I'm Stephen A. and I mention your name for greatness, that's so disrespectful. I don't know how you can't see that. You said LeBron James and never. Yes. You're saying one of the greatest players to ever play the game of basketball and never in the same sentence.
No. All I mean is, I said, well, I'm saying it's over. What I'm saying to you is this. He's 36. He's scheduled to play maybe about 3 more years.
Okay.
I believe the Golden State Warriors are going to be standing right there saying, and obviously he's the one person that draws those comparisons. What ultimately comes up short is the level of fear that was instilled in you. You didn't mess with MJ. You didn't come at MJ like that. You didn't do stuff like that. People, and I'm not talking about Isaiah Stewart, I'm just talking about period in terms of opponents and how they come at you. You believe that you wondered what you was going to do about this. With LeBron, you believe you can take him. You believe he can be had, whether it's because of the teammates around him, the system he's playing in, the people that, whatever skill set you bring to the table, et cetera, et cetera. You just view him differently. And throughout the years in covering the league, those are all the things that I've consistently heard. Now, obviously, he would refute that. There's players that would refute that who have been supportive of him. Rich Paul and Maverick Carter definitely would refute that because I've spoken to them about it in the past. But